Hello, my name is Sheila. Welcome to my channel, Sassy Seer Sheila. And it's going to be hard for me, Andrew, to remember that.
SSS instead of CCC.
I know. Well, for a long time, even on the channel that shall not be named,
Never.
right? For the same reason I don't use my last name anymore. I mean, it does show. Hopefully that won't be a problem. I'm hoping I won't have to change that, but maybe I'll have to. I don't know. Because that does show up
Yes, I
on
see it.
I thought so. Okay, so what this is today, for those of you that are new to my channel, let's see, I want to start with the date, same as I always did. Today is Monday, August the 7th, 2023, the day before the Lions Gate, and I'm going to put it just like that. But I'm so glad to be joined by my pal, Andrew Foss from Astrogardens, and it should be Andrew's Astrogardens. And also facilitator of Oracle Report on Facebook, the group there, which I am a member of, and I highly recommend because there's so much really great activity that goes on in that group. Welcome, Andrew. This is called the Accidental Astrologer, and
Yes, welcome back to the Accidental Astrologer. We started this earlier in the year and just haven't been able to connect since. And as I say, I am the Accidental Astrologer. I got involved in this just accidentally, and I've learned a few things and wanted to share them and share the understanding, because astrology, as you know, with your inner standings, it takes a lot to understand everything going on.
yes,
And
it does,
kind
man.
of
I'm
like
still learning.
and it's kind of like eating the elephant. You can't chew it all at once. You're going to have a whole bunch of different bites, and they're going to taste different. And they all make up a whole that describes something bigger than you can understand at any one time.
That's so true, Andrew. And I find for myself, I really enjoy, um, just like I feel like each vessel channels their divinity because it's, looking for expression and it's all very unique. I find each astrologer's uh, take perspective on astrology every bit as valuable because there are puzzle pieces that this astrologer sees in this alignment that they are intuitively guided to bring forward, where this astrologer may have not actually felt to bring that forward. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, definitely.
right. And there's so many different types, which,
Mhm.
you and I wanted to bring the Oracle report forward here just a little bit because that is how you and I actually met, is through Laura
Mhm.
Walker. And I've mentioned oraclereport.com so many. This will be the first time I've mentioned it here on this new channel, but I highly recommend that y'all go there and take a listen to the information that is there. But now also, she has a subscription, but you can find out all that information there. But Andrew and I, that's how we met. And
Yes.
so you're going to help tell us a lot of information today. I'm really excited about this, Andrew. So I'm gonna be quiet and let you get
Okay.
started.
As we had discussed, we wanted to get together again. The subject of today's Accidental Astrologer is the astrology of the Black Moon, and you had posed a question to me. Wow, my Black Moon's in Leo. I wonder what that means. And that's kind of the beginning of a lot of astrology deep dives, because there are so many things to know. I mean, you might say, what does it mean that my Saturn is in this and in this house? And unless you do a whole lot of research on the subject, you're never going to know. And the Black Moon, of course, is one that not a whole lot of people know. It's not a planet. It's not even an asteroid. It is a theoretical space in the universe that might be in between Mars and Jupiter, and it orbits at about every 9.5 years or so.
Okay.
And this energy is very, very closely related to the moon and the energies that it brings, and it can be triggered all over the place. And most people aren't really aware of it because they have never been exposed. So
But I ask you, would for some reason I'm being asked, or I'm asking myself, And so I'd rather ask you at this point, that theoretical point, it sounds similar to the nodes because those are
Yes.
points of the moon. And I heard dark side. Well, and is that why it was associated with the name Lilith? Because as we were just saying before we started recording, I've
The,
shown that energetic has been
the association with the black moon and Lilith, I don't understand it completely. What astrologically the black moon location is kind of in the asteroid belt. It may have been another planet, it may have been another asteroid that has been since not there.
I see. Okay. All right.
But as with many things in astrology, that space is energetically out there, and it is affecting us on a regular basis in the same way that the moon affects us once a month, in the same way that Mercury is traveling around in retrogrades every 3 months or 3 times a year and screws with us. The black moon is there and it's doing things. And, astrologers who were not aware of it were aware that something was going on at that time and could not pinpoint it until they started looking at it. It's like, okay, there. Laura Walker put a lot of research and energy into that energetic field and was able to come up with her book about the black moon. We're going to be talking a lot about that, and I will show you pieces of it and suggest. And it's available for free at oraclereport.com.
Yeah, I want to show everybody, if you don't mind. I have it pulled up here. I would love to show everyone exactly what it looks like and where you can go. Okay, so this is oraclereport.com, and what you do is you go over to the books tab, and all of Laura's work is here for you to download free. The Wisdom Goddesses reference guide, the Sabian symbols record. Here's the black moon. This is what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
And you can go there and download those and do your own deep dive. And so please continue.
No, and it was, when I started getting into astrology, it was one of the first places I went to try to find things out because it was a resource. And she very thoroughly discusses the energy, and we want to do that. Now it's funny because you asked about what does it mean having your black moon in Leo. So I want to show your chart, and then we can show some other charts that kind of show what's going on right now with that. So
thank you.
Let me go ahead. We're going to share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, can you see it now?
It's still blank. There we go. Yes, I can.
Okay, great. Now, what we have with, let's see, where do I want to go? I want to go to, hello, Sheila's chart. As you see, your birth date here, your birth information at some bizarre army base in the middle of Ohio. Okay.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I have to correct you there. It's not a bazaar. It's a very famous Air Force base.
Okay.
It is the Air Force base where the Roswell crash was transported to and still stored.
Gotta love that. Let's go visit that area.
As the place of my birth.
Okay, so here we are looking at your chart, and this is the chart of the day you were born, and right here in this circular area right here is where your black moon placement is at 28 degrees 24 minutes of Leo, or 29 Leo. Now, what you have to understand about the black moon is it travels around the zodiac slowly. It takes 9 years for this thing to go around. The black moon is in each of the different signs of the zodiac for about 9.5 months. So when the black moon enters the sign of the zodiac where your natal placement is, you will be feeling the energy, and you're going through what's basically like it's called your return. So it's very much like a Mercury retrograde or a retrograde of any of the planets, because it's that time where you are dealing with the energy. Luckily, it only happens every 8 years. Because it is a transformational time. And what you find when you're looking at the black moon, it is birth and rebirth. You're birthing into an energy, you're rebirthing out of it into another life. So that's a lot of what's going to happen. Now, I'm going to take some information that I pulled from her Black Moon book. Let's see, right here. See, Astrology of the Black Moon, a guide to healing the shadow side. What the black moon deals with is shadow side energy. Basically, the things that your biggest fears in life, and how you deal with those fears, how those fears drag you down or boost you up, and how you live with them. Okay. Now, each section of the zodiac carries a different fear. Where you are in Leo, it's the fear of change.
The only constant in the universe, I might add.
And I deal with, up here in Aries, the feeling of unworthiness.
Ah.
You all. I'm not unworthy, damn it. But I'm not going through a transit, so I'm not having to deal with that. That was a couple years ago.
I gotcha.
But so with each of these, depending on where your black moon placement, you're dealing with that overall fear. Okay, let me go to my pre-prepared statements, that things that that we learned. Now, I'm going to read a few of these only because they describe a whole lot about what you should be looking at with the black moon, and these are direct quotes from her book. We are shown two halves of ourselves that we need to unite in order to become complete. When the shadow side is brought into consciousness, a rare degree of clarity is imparted. Knowing the way in which we hold ourselves back and understanding the unconscious fears and motivations behind many of our responses enables us to make effective changes in our lives. This is why understanding it's important, knowing how you work. That way you're able to get through it. And kind of like, you know, as I've said many times with my analogy with astrology and surfing, if you know how where the bad weather's coming from, you can be in the right place to enjoy it. It's the same.
Too true. But also, Andrew, and this is where I feel this is so important. I love that you brought this forward, this statement here. Because it's very important to, she says, they're knowing the way in which we hold ourselves back. We're showing two halves of ourselves. I was in denial of that other half of myself for so long that I damn near ran myself off the planet. My health was so bad. And so this is why this is a very important point to me personally to bring forward. Because I feel, rightfully so, based on my own experiential filter here, that thoughts and feelings actually manifest in my health. I'll just keep it right here with what happened to me. And so it is only because I made the inner choice to begin to seek that other half that I was in denial of, and begin to communicate even with that other half. I'm so grateful you brought that statement right there. Should be a great big neon sign, and everybody on the whole planet, you know what I mean, you could use to see this, because the
then this is the important part of understanding different parts of astrology, and very specifically the black moon. I mean, there are people that go through years and years and years of psychotherapy and therapy, and if only they could understand this portion of it, it would throw a lot of the inner issues on their head, and you wouldn't need to go to somebody to go through it. I mean, a lot of, you know, the psychology industry is designed, it's kind of a self-fulfilling profession. They identify things and they get people to talk about them, but they never really come to a resolution of it. A lot of astrology is using those energies that we know about and trying to understand them and integrate them into our lives. And with the black moon, it is dealing with that shadow side, the things that really get you down, and how do you deal with them?
Mhm. Well, see, that's why I feel like that part right there, we are shown the two halves that we
Mm-hmm.
need to unite in order to come complete. And I know for my own self that I was so in denial of that one half. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't, I just couldn't, I wouldn't, and it's an inner choice that has to be made first because, and that's those for me anyway, I see, because, well, I guess maybe it depends on your, like you said, the psychology of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That friend of mine, Lori, it's the same thing. Therapy will help, but you
Yeah.
gotta want it and you gotta be able to
You
see
got to want it. You got to be able to work with it. And you've got to be able to
see
go
it herself.
inside, figure it out, and then bring it back.
Yep, not be in denial of things
Mhm.
one is being shown. Boy, Andrea, please continue.
Okay, now there's this second quote, and it actually comes about 2 paragraphs later in the book, but I think this helps to really understand what it's about. The astrology of the black moon identifies this specific primary fear. The shadow side is merely the container of our primary fear. So when we face the shadows, we are really facing our primary fear. The black moon in each sign identifies certain personal issues that we carry and face on a regular basis. These issues form a large part of our personality and color our behavior, forming what could loosely be called our downfall in life. Our primary fears hold us back and prevent us from living our lives to the fullest. The black moon bestows the gift of this information to help us see through our self-sabotaging behavior and make changes that will free us from our self-imposed limitations.
Which is why it feels so big
Mm-hmm.
to
I mean,
me. And again, when I first found Laura and I first started learning about energy from, paying attention to the Oracle report on a daily
mm-hmm.
basis, which you also continue to do in writing on your site,
Oh, yeah.
astrogardens.com. Um, those energetics being able to see where they were, I see how that, yeah, that was in my life today, and oh, that was yesterday, and oh my, and it also helped me see how it moves in waves as well. So when I found this too, it just, I don't know, like I said, it's been so helpful to me, and you in particular, Andrew.
I mean, with Astrogardens, something I do, I post the chart for every single day of the year, or at least I try to, and sometimes I miss a day or so, and sometimes it's a day late. But the idea is to be able to look at the chart for the day and in your mind compare what you're seeing to what your own chart is. That's why I think it's always important. See, I've got my chart here. I always have it on hand. I look at it and find new things every other day. And it's funny, you think it's like, God, I should have that thing memorized, but you don't, because you look at it in different ways.
Right, right.
So I mean, like, right now you'd be looking at your chart and saying, okay, what's going on with the black moon? Because as we're going to show, you've got a lot going on, and there's a lot of things that are bouncing off of each other that you want to pay attention to. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is talk very specifically about what is the black moon in Leo. This is for what you need to understand about yourself. It is the shadow of order. That's the whole theme. It's all about order. And your fear is the fear of change. And you said that you kind of felt that for a while.
Well, thing is, you see, because I have followed Laura for a while, I've known this for a
Yes.
while, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I read this page. I confess, I did not read Laura's entire book about the Black Moon, but I read this page. And this is, I will be truthful with you, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you forward, because I didn't. And no, I always laughed and said, oh, great. I'm all afraid of the only constant in the universe. And, kind of made light of it. But something hit me just now as you read The Shadow of Order. Okay, because we all know what is attached to that, or at least you can feel that as well as I can. I know you do. And I also know, I've known for quite some time now, that part of my mission, should I choose to fulfill it, is to, and I'm doing it in the way that I feel drawn to do, is to by confronting this, first of all, I know that I was part and parcel of the energy that set all of this, what I'll call control and domination and control up on this planet many, 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 many lifetimes ago. And I feel very strongly at this moment of now that I incarnated into a human vessel, part and parcel, so that I may participate in the tearing it all down and putting it back in the box and starting something new. And so it makes sense to me in this moment that this is something I must surmount. Wow, it didn't come into me like that until you said those words, The Shadow.
Again, each time you look at it and you find something new, I mean, your goal is to identify and vocalize others' talents and strengths, to identify the opportunities presented by changes, and eliminate feeling jealous.
And I want you to know that's hard.
Oh yeah. I mean, look at you. You're meeting people on a new level and trying to bring them out of their shells, and that's your way of ordering things.
I didn't actually feel that eliminate feeling jealous part again until you just said it. And I saw, I was flashed a few things and I was like, oh, that's what it is. Holy crap. I didn't even, that's how unconscious you can be to your own self sometimes until you're willing to see a thing, because that's what I want you to know. What I am experiencing right here, just so everybody understands what's happening. I've seen this information before. I've read this information before, but it did not affect me the way it is right now. And that's because I've had a few veils drop within me. And so you're right. You alluded to this earlier. You get new information from the same information by revisiting it. So thank you for this, Andrew.
So, I mean, also you can take a look at some of the other things about it, about how it manifests, how you're healing and transcending with the feelings. I always think it's interesting to look at other people who were Black Moon and Leo, people like Princess Di, Charles de Gaulle, Ernest Hemingway, Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe, Jim Morrison. Short, nice little list there.
I see Robert F. Kennedy is also, and
yes,
so is John F. Kennedy on that list.
Franklin Roosevelt, Leo Tolstoy, Christopher Reeve. All of these people are dealing with that. We're dealing with these same issues. And how did they deal with them? Now, let's get a little deeper into the astrology. I got to come back to your chart. Now, here you are sitting here at 29 Leo. Let me take a look at what is the Sabian symbol of 28 Leo, which I don't memorize all 360 of them. So
I don't blame you. Me either.
It's actually 29 Leo, I should say. Right there.
I want to make sure of something. For some reason, I have a question in my mind about that. You have my right time, right? I didn't give you the wrong time on my.
You are at 3:25 p.m.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. The Sabian symbol at that point is a mermaid emerges from the ocean ready for rebirth in human form. Always want to look at the Sabian symbols and try to grok them and understand them and see how that feeling works.
Why am I not seeing that? I feel like there was something that I thought.
Did you get it confused with 28, Leo? Many little birds on the limb of a large tree?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. There's for some reason, and I thought I had it listed somewhere, but I'm not seeing it. So either I've had a timeline jump or something, but please continue, Andrew.
Okay, but anyways, my point in pointing that out is if you take a look, you're here, right here at 29 Leo, you also must look at what you are in aspect to. With the black moon, you're only looking for direct aspects. You don't look at squares and trines and things like that. You look for direct. And for you, you are directly conjunct with Uranus and directly in conjunct with the North Node. Conversely, you are also over here opposing Chiron. And all of those color what you're going to be looking at. And I'm going to show you what each of those conjunctions mean to your Leo placement.
Oh, thank you so much, because I just got some information for myself just hearing you say those things.
Yes. Okay. And also, as you note, and this is the kind of thing, you know, as people are looking at their chart, these are the things that you want to look at. And it's funny, since I started running charts, people say, oh, I got my chart, I don't know what the hell this means. These are the questions you have to ask yourself each time you're looking at your chart. So you're also looking at the fact that your black moon is in your 7th house. So I'm going to go through 7th house and what these conjunctions actually mean to you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, you know, the information's there. You'll look it up and read it.
No, you're right. Absolutely. Well, I haven't done that specifically with the black moon, and that's why I was looking at my chart, and I was like, well, yeah, because you've not printed out anything, you've not done any kind of digging on this at all. I think obviously I was waiting for you, Andrew. The fact that you're okay, so I want to bring this forward too. That's why I don't beat myself up about things. Because I wasn't drawn to do this on my own. I was drawn to do it with you. It is because you are a translator for me. And I, on some level, instinctively knew that. So because again, I did some preliminary digging, and obviously I didn't see things or understand them, grok them the way that I am now.
Well,
you giving me
I'm glad I can bring it forward.
Well, me too. Thank you so much.
I mean, and it's something, and you know, I say this to so many people that about astrology, and they look at me, and I'm like, please don't look at the horoscope in the newspaper. It's just going to be an irritating piece of shit for you. It doesn't tell you anything.
Well, and they do that.
Well, what does it mean that I'm a Gemini? I'm like, I don't know. What do you think it means?
Right, it's only a piece of the puzzle, and that's the problem.
I mean, it's like exactly. It's like you want me to hold up this piece of the puzzle and tell me how much it means about you. You got to look at all of it, and it's all kind of a panorama.
Right, exactly.
And each bit of it kind of changes according to what else is there. Okay, let's go into the black moon in the 7th house. What does that mean? It means the greatest challenges of the shadow are related to partnerships and commitment. This shadow side is urgently motivated to seek mutually fulfilling relationships, which are often evasive. Also, other people find ways to take advantage of us, sometimes to the point of betrayal. Many times life seems unfair to us, and others would probably agree. In the midst of this, there can also be issues of dependence and neediness. You feeling some of that?
I will have to say yes, a resounding yes. Well, that is part and parcel of what I've come to know about myself, and I was surprised by that. As assertive and as well, some would say forceful, as I usually am. No, I have found myself to be, in some ways, sort of codependent,
Mm-hmm.
and needy in a very different sort of hidden way, if you
Mm-hmm.
can feel into that. And so those are traits about oneself that aren't easy to A, see, and then B, admit to oneself. But having done so and seeing that a lot of it is based on incorrect uh, perspectives about myself,
Mm-hmm.
based on experiences that I chose in the past, which are of a different frequency. See, now, since I've begun this quest, really, into me, who am I, and all of that. These things just prove all of that, and they help me see that. So, absolutely, can I say to
Mm-hmm.
you that, oh, yes, and still, and yet I'm aware of it. But at least now that I'm aware of it, it's easier, it becomes easier and easier and easier to recognize.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've noticed for myself is I catch, because I'm able to catch myself much earlier on in the process of this. It doesn't go full blown into a situation anymore
Mm-hmm.
where I'm unhappy with myself or anyone else, really.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
There is a gift with the house, Black Moon in the seventh house. It's the gift of the shadow is our ability to perceive and create beauty from the smallest things. Innately tuned towards balance, we easily see what is missing and then endeavor to rectify the situation. This is a very valuable skill that can be translated into many different applications.
Yeah, that is so true. That's what I'm experiencing um with each of these that I am shown, where that's a dependency or a
Mm-hmm.
neediness, or even honestly just recently, here yesterday actually, I I was shown my behavior that I was questioning, and I was able to trace it back again to abandonment, and I hadn't
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, what? I was like, wow, I still with the abandonment, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so being able to see them is such a gift to me. That just in and of itself
Mm-hmm.
is a gift. So
Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's go with your conjunctions. Now, conjunction with the North Node. Until the North Node is all about future. North Node is the future, the South Node is the past. Um, so it's the way you feel the future and how it's colored by your Black Moon placement. Until the core of fear of the Black Moon is recognized, we will have substantial difficulty identifying our life's path. Most astrologers take the view that the lessons of the South node must be integrated before we can activate the North Node. And this is even more important when the Black Moon conjuncts and opposes the North Node. These aspects also indicate a strong tendency towards self-sabotage. As we begin to heal our shadow side, we begin to realign with our destiny. I think that just in my knowledge of your past and in the changes that you've made, that makes a lot of sense, that you've kind of come into yourself over the past few years, and with your understanding of a lot of these things, you've made that transformation.
yes, it's still ongoing, but yes, you're
It's always a
absolutely right.
process,
Yes.
but it's kind of like your past life and your future life, and you've kind of seen where it's going now, whereas you may not have seen it in the past.
I think a certain part of me, a part that I was still suppressing, may have, well, have suspected, and actually, that fear of change
Mm-hmm.
actually is what has kept it from already. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
also, and I'm not, again, I'm not mad at it, because what I'm coming to know, my guidance keeps saying, everybody is exactly where they're meant to be, and I can relax into myself. Just relax into myself is that, you know.
Hmm.
So I used to be all, oh, why didn't I know this by now, or that kind of thing. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's especially when you said there about how the south node must be integrated before we can
Hmm.
activate the north node.
It's dealing with the past allows you to go to the future. And
Right,
the black moon is very involved in that transformation.
right. Oh, wow. Okay. There's something trying to come in. That's going to take a minute
Well,
to.
it's okay. I've got something for you in a few minutes that'll help that come
Yeah.
in as
Okay.
well.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Now, next one I wanted to go to was the opposition to Chiron. Whenever Chiron's involved, it's the wounded healer, and it really kind of amps up what you're doing with your black moon in Leo, and it is in opposition. The conjunction or opposition of the black moon and Chiron often poses lifetime of painful experiences. This aspect almost demands that we sacrifice ourselves for others, leading us to walk through life with a deep wound that restricts our personal growth. This aspect is similar to that of the black moon and the sun, and that it indicates a pervasive suicidal thoughts that everyone would be better off if we were dead, or the desire for release from worldly problems. As we begin to heal our shadow side, a completely new perspective and experience of life is possible. We experience palpable rewards from engaging in work with the shadow.
Wow. I'm going to find the date that this transpired for me and check it. I got a feeling that it was my black moon conjunct oppose Uranus.
Mm-hmm.
This that you just read, because when I, wow, in 2013, yes, in 2013, I want to say it was September, I threw myself down on my knees and I said, I'm done. Take me now. If this is what my life is going to be, I'm a burden on my entire family. Either show me what to do or take me now. I can't take it anymore.
Probably looking at the dates, you were just coming through your last black moon transit. It was about
Well,
9 to 10 years ago.
I bet you're right, because look at the date, 2013,
Mm-hmm.
September, right around now, I would imagine. So, wow. And from that moment forward has been this quest, this journey to get to
Mm-hmm.
know who I am. Wow. See, backing into stuff, there's no way one can deny that,
No,
you know.
I mean, that's the thing. The energy's there.
That's
Now you're
something you
moving.
can't unsee once you know it. Wow. Thank you, Andrew.
You're welcome. Okay, and your last, and truly, all I did was read your chart and pull up the conjunctions, and I'm asking if they speak to you in ways. The last one, your black moon is conjunct with Uranus. With a conjunction or opposition of the black moon and Uranus, we continually find ourselves changing our lives in dramatic ways. We may struggle to find a place in the world. Inner peace seems to elude us as we are always engaged in one thing or another. It is difficult for us to relax and live in the present. We are good at creating upheaval for ourselves, which constantly keeps us off balance, and we begin to heal our shadow sides. As we begin to heal our shadow sides, we are free to revolutionize our outlook on life without needing to physically change everything about our lives.
Yes. I've found, yes, I have found that a lot recently.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually alluded to the peace that passes all understanding, sort of, that I see, this, just I find myself being really okay with everything exactly where it is. And I've never had that in my life before. Yeah, there's lots of stuff I'd like to experience, and I feel that is coming. But this is wow. I've lived most of my life feeling differently, feeling like, oh, if only this or that or the other would change, then this, that, or the other.
Now, the last thing I want to have you look at, as with everything in astrology, there's the yin and the yang. You are at Black Moon in Leo, but you always pay attention to where it is or where it is in opposition, which your opposition is in Aquarius. When the Black Moon hits Aquarius, you are also triggered because you're triggered from the opposition. So always pay attention, and in 4 years, 4.5 years, watch for it. The Black Moon will be in Aquarius, and that is the shadow of power and the feeling of powerlessness. They are the flip side to what your core fears are with order and change. So the flip side is power and powerlessness. So you pay attention to those. They are not as strong, but they're also triggering you, and they will trigger your core fears at the time when those are being in conjunction. That makes sense?
Yes, I think so. So I'm going to be feeling all of that when the Black Moon is in Aquarius to some degree.
Yeah, you're gonna be
say.
going through it again. I mean, you go through Black Moon transits twice within a cycle. You go through it when it's in your area, and you go through it when it's opposing, and the opposing is in Aquarius. So you feel those energies stronger, and then it activates your own energies.
Now, I for some reason, a question is, and I guess, would that have anything? Now, my ascendant, of course, because it is in Aquarius. So does that have other, like,
let's see, your ascendant is at 20 degrees Aquarius. Yes. It, because I mean your ascendant is strong in your chart. It's important, and you're let's see, you're following south node on that ascendant. Again, south, or your past is big in your chart. What you need to pick, it's all a matter of paying attention to it at the time. What are you feeling when it happens?
I gotcha.
Now, the next part of what I want to do, and this won't take very long, I'm going to go through the course of while the Black Moon has been in Leo. And it started back in January. Let's see, where do I have those stored?
It started in January.
It started in January.
Andrew, I have had 2 literal conversations with death. This is specifically very similar. I think I had exit points lined up, just like I must have all those years ago. And I've referred to them, before, on the channel that shall not be named, that just left, when I was moving through them. And it is also part of the reason that I haven't been, or I wasn't on that channel for a while. And I was questioning here again whether or not I was even going to recreate a new channel.
So this was on January 8th. That's when the Black Moon entered Leo. You began feeling this once it hit Leo. And I pull this up because what this is a bi-wheel chart. Here's your chart right here with all of your placements. This is where everything was on January 8th.
Okay, so the inner is my natal, is that right?
Yeah, this is your natal information in here.
Okay.
And this is where everything was on January 8th, 18 Capricorn. And the Black Moon is right here, just entering Leo.
Okay.
I'm not seeing anything real big, other than you were opposing Saturn, which is never a positive thing. I'm sorry, I rag on Saturn a lot just because it
Well,
pisses.
wouldn't that kind of go along with the question of, because Saturn being the parent, uh, because the question I was being asked, what do you want to do? What are we doing? What are we doing here? Are you staying or going? These two conversations with death I have or have had during this period. Um, I don't know. They kind of, when you said that about Saturn, I thought, yeah, that could be a parental thing that might be being asked. Hey, well, what you got going on in there?
Uh-huh. See, and your natal Saturn is back here in Cap, at 23 Cap. But the actually, so here at 23 Aquarius, it's basically starting to oppose where the black moon is. It's playing. It's in play. So that's what was happening at that time. Second, I wanted to go to, no, that's not that one. I wanted to go to today. That's today. No, that's the end. Why do I have October 3rd? That's dumb. No, today. That's where I want to go to. Okay. Today. This is what's going on today. And, as again, this is your natal chart. This is the chart for the day. What is happening with your black moon versus the black moon here? You're starting to enter conjunction. If you want to look at conjunction, it is when you're 5 degrees plus or minus to whatever your aspect is. You're going to be playing with this for a month.
Okay.
But you become in exact conjunction later on in the month, here on October 3rd, as you see, or wait, no, that's the end of it. September 9th. That's when it is going to be exactly conjunct. So about 3 days before, 3 days after, September 6th through about the 15th. These are dark days. These are days where you're going to be feeling the energy of this conjunction the most. It's one of those, I like to say, you kind of get yourself ready for it. You know what's going to happen. When Laura says that she's in heavy dark black moon time, she just kind of goes under and tries to hold on to herself during that time. I like to say it's the time that you almost want to put on a life jacket while you're surfing because you could go under. It's all a matter of paying attention to it. That's the time where it's going to be the strongest in for you in dealing with the energy.
Okay.
So you kind of watch what's going on with the other planets. You're getting into exact conjunction Saturn with your Chiron. Pluto is playing with your Jupiter. You've got oh, something's going on with your Mars. I remember. Where is that? No, I'm wrong. No, but so you kind of pay attention to those kinds of things. Chiron's playing with your sun or with your Earth. These things you pay attention to how those energies work with you because you're going under with the black moon. Now, you will be out of that time on October 3rd when black moon goes bye-bye and enters into Virgo. And you can say goodbye, have fun. I am dealing with I've dealt with my shadow side, and you reemerge and kind of feel the lightness of the energy. That's the best way I can say it. It's like you're feeling the lightness.
Wow. Okay. Well, wow.
See, this is what I do with astrology. I look at what happens that day and how it keeps changing day after day. There are people that do a speculative astrology. They'll look into the future and see what's going to happen with you. I've never been able to keep that in my mind, so I don't usually do it.
Right, right.
But this is how you can do it. And you can look, it's like, oh, okay, I've got something going on in September and I'm going to be careful of it. I look at it day to day, but I don't usually look into the future because I just get confused.
Right.
That's me.
Well, I mean, I can already feel, I have already been feeling you know, challenges, right? That
Mhm,
come up. And I will classify them as such because
mhm.
that's what they just feel like. And I have so far um, been very pleased with mm, the way I meet each challenge.
Mhm.
So
And it's something I point out those dates. You want to take your calendar and mark it from about September 5th or 6th to about what is it? About the 15th or so. Just be aware of it. That is a time that you could be skating in, thin ice that is troublesome.
right.
Just be ready for it. That's
Well,
all I can say. It can only pull you down if you're not worried or you're not paying attention to it.
no, that you're right. So and as I have decided to pay very close attention to myself at all
Mhm,
times because that's where I'm learning so much about myself by my own reactions, even
mhm,
to myself,
mhm,
much less outside stimuli.
mhm,
Wow, Andrew, that was so awesome. You helped me on
mhm,
many different levels there with what you were sharing, but also, again, I can't stress this enough. See, for me, I recognize that each one of us bring through information from the all with specific codes and frequencies attached to it that are through our experiential filters. And for me, that highlights and
mhm,
pings things that on some level I'm ready to. It's almost like I see that you have a puzzle piece that fits into the veil that I'm working on that helps it become more gossamer. Does that make
mhm.
sense?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so
Actually, wait.
I want to thank you so much
I
for.
need to I need to share one more time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, please do. Hey, listen, you
And
take your time and share away.
I only say this because as you know, I hold your chart information. One of the things that you had asked for in the past was your black moon transit dates. Every year the sun goes around the zodiac. The 2 days of the year where the black moon is activated for you based on where it was in your natal chart are August 20th and February 17th. Mark them on your calendar at all or every year because those are the days where the sun is conjunct and opposing where your natal black moon is. As I said, that those, week in September, also pay attention to the August 20th coming up. That is your annual transit.
Okay.
And
Okay.
this is something, if anybody is interested in getting your charts done, it's an option that I can pull that information for you. You know what the dates are. You put them on your calendar, and you just kind of watch it. Like, oh, okay, that happened today. And you can either look at it a couple days later and say there was something going on, or you can look at it a few days before and say I'm getting ready for it.
Right.
It becomes your choice on how you want to play with the energy, but those are dates that you want to write down for yourself.
Yeah, and I appreciate you doing that for me because here's the thing, and that's one of the things that I so adore about Oracle Report and you, okay? And that is that again, this is how I was able to understand energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh and how I feel about there being a higher and lower octave because when I first found the Oracle report and Laura was doing strictly writing of the Oracle report
Yeah.
mostly back in 2014 is when I found her, and uh, there was always those octaves, what I call octaves,
Yes.
right? They're perspectives. Every energy has perspectives. There are two
Mm-hmm.
portions to make the whole, right?
Yeah.
And so uh I don't know where I was going with that, but I know that that is how I started understanding energy, because it wasn't, people were talking about energy. I didn't quite grok it, but I
Yeah.
certainly do now. And you and Laura have been a very large part of that for me. And
Mhm.
just knowing that these dates could be dates where I'm energetically taking deep dives
Mhm.
to hold myself in reverence, to simply allow all to transpire and observe myself and know that there may be things that I'll be asked to look at. You see that? See, I used to hold triggers differently. Like you have to avoid them at all costs. And no, I
Uh-huh.
want to be triggered at this point. I want to be triggered. I want to know what's still in there.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Because I can't fix what I can't see.
Mhm.
You know. So let's bring it on out. Let's
See, but that
take care of it.
the other thing to remember, that while that is happening, September 3rd, Venus is no longer going to be retrograde, but Mercury will be retrograde, and so will Jupiter. All of these retrogrades screw with you, so just be aware of them.
Okay. Thank you for that too. See, now I really didn't know all of that as well.
Yeah, well, let me show you something I keep on my website, astrogardens.com, for you to take a look at. I've listed all of the retrogrades and where they are, especially the outer planets. They retrograde every year. Right now, it tends to be summer through the fall. And as you see, Mercury is just about to go retrograde again. May you rot in hell. Um, Jupiter will be going retrograde on September 4th. Venus will be coming out of retrograde on the 3rd of September. Chiron will be retrograde, is still retrograde and will be at that time, and so will Uranus. So all of these things, they are shifting of the energies that are in place.
And they will all play into the overall energetic.
Yes.
I do realize that that is so. And that's why I say just being aware of this information has made such a difference for me. And I'm so grateful to you for that. Now, I want you to be, tell folks now, you had asked me, and I do still have the last video that we did. But of course,
Okay.
I thought about it. And I welcome everyone to the channel that may not be named. So I would love it if you and I would just do another. We can always do. You and I can record again,
Uh-huh.
and because there was a recording that you and I did where you did a lot of explaining of different things
Yeah,
that you were
our
using.
last recording was on Mercury retrograde. That was it, and it's the bane of my existence, and a game that I play every 4 months or so. And the big to all of you who don't have problems with Mercury the way I do. But it's something that you definitely want to pay attention to, because it's there. Go ahead.
I would love to do that one, but I thought when you were the one that we really
Oh,
wanted to do was the one that where you were explaining some things. You said that you pointed people to that for some of the chart information.
oh yeah.
That was a wholly different video, wasn't it? It was mostly instructional.
Yeah, that was instructional when I was teaching people about your chart and how to look at your chart and the things that you want to look at. Actually, I think I'd like to do that one again, and
Yes, that's what I was wondering
I've
if
I've
we
got a
did.
good idea. Plus, I'm looking forward to do the lunar phases, because that's the one near and dear to my heart.
Well, and that's why
Mhm.
I wanted to bring you out, and I appreciate you doing this one for me because obviously it's very timely and it's very helpful to me. But at your leisure, when you're ready, whichever of those you would like to do first, and we can do them all
Okay.
and get them.
Hey,
So
come on, this is Accidental Astrologer. We can talk about just about anything, and there are so many places we can go, and I look forward to doing it. Thank you very much again. You learn something about astrology for every time you look. For you, you're learning a lot about your black moon that you weren't aware of.
Yes.
For me, those two quotes about, what the black moon meant, I kind of knew them in the first place, but reading them again, it's like, that's right. That's why we look at this. This is why we want to know, because it helps. And then you kind of look at it through the lens of your own black moon. And again, anybody who's interested, go to my website, astrogardens.com. There's a link for where you can go to order charts, or go to oraclereport.com and press the data tab, and that's where you could order charts as well. I think that we'll do. I've been trying to do kind of a primer of when people get their charts. What do you do with it? Wow, there's this circle. Isn't it pretty?
No, you're so right. When I first saw this, I'm like, oh, great. My natal chart. Wish I could
Exactly.
read it.
What does this mean? And
Wish I understood it.
and I've got what I want to do. I want to create a worksheet. And, this is the important part. When you're looking at your natal chart, it really helps if you're doing the work yourself and looking at it, because otherwise, if I sit and if I sit and tell people, oh, here it is, and do a reading on the chart, you remember pieces of it. I've had my chart done about 5 times, and I never remember all. I remember like little pieces, and that's it. But if you start doing it for yourself, it's like, okay, look up your ascendant. What does that mean? Look up your sun sign. What does that mean? What does your earth sign mean? And where is it placed? What house is it in? That way you can start writing it out on your own and learn it. So I'm going to put together kind of the primer, and we can go through how to do it.
I would love that. If I would feel so honored if you would do that with me. I would love to do that.
That'll be, it's what astrologers do, and I've never done it myself, so it'll be kind of a learning experience.
Well, here's the thing for me, Andrew, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm convinced that, as we were speaking before we came on camera, that more and more and more folks are really becoming aware that there's much more than meets the eye to where we live and what's going on here. I'll just say the truth of who and what we are, right?
Okay.
And for me, astrology is one of those things that has been relegated to the woo-woo pile on purpose to distract and dissuade folks from that internal dive, to help remember who they are and what they might have had in mind for coming here.
I wrote about that exactly last month, and just said, hey, they may be calling it woo-woo, but every single one of the elites knows their chart inside and out and is using it to make decisions.
And that is so true. Poo-pooing everybody else all along the way so that you don't do it. Well, the beautiful thing about you and our collaboration here is that you're willing to share the knowledge that you, admittedly, accidentally, have taught yourself over the years. And I want to say that for me, which is another reason I never removed this, and I never will, because I thought I don't care if it's a psyop. It was the most brilliant psyop in the entire world, if you ask me.
Oh yeah.
Asking questions is the first and fastest way to disrupt a program. And so asking questions about self, and finding folks who are willing to share what they've been teaching themselves, because it's not easy. And so thank you so much. I really look forward to it. So folks can find you exactly where.
Okay, go to astrogardens.com. That is my blog. If you go there, you can click on to get my email updates. That is on my Substack page, which is astrogardens.substack.com, which is basically the same as Astrogardens itself, except for it's not as well organized, and all it really does for me is gives me free email, and you can get copies of them of each of the reports every day that I send out. I send out maybe 5 a week. And that's about what I'm writing. And a lot of it's my perspective. And if you don't like my perspective, I'm sorry. but it tends to be opening people's eyes to the things that are happening around them, and they may not notice.
Right. And I well, and as I have always shared that, because everything that you share there called my attention to the fact that you also share when to cut your hair for growth. And
That's the Farmer's Almanac.
yep,
They publish it. They've been publishing it for 250 years. They kind of have the I mean, these are the people that look at caterpillars to determine the weather next year. But that being said, they were looking at astrology 250 years ago and pointing out things going on that most people back then were using to make decisions.
right.
And there's a reason that you do it.
Right.
Whether the elites who tried to cancel it all back in, I don't know, what was it, about 1912, about that time.
Right.
Thank you,
Exactly.
Rockefellers, for making our life so perfectly in your pocket.
Well, there's so much that's, happening. I really feel like we're on the brink of a lot. And
Yes.
honestly, I have this again, our time here today has offered an entire download that is still unpacking. And it has to do with it started when you uttered the words, the shadow of order. And I think there's an entire piece. And so those dates that you gave me, and I'm wondering if you would mind sharing those charts that you ran, if you wouldn't mind sending those to me.
Yeah, I can send them all to you.
Okay, I'd love that. I'm going to print them out and keep them, because I have a feeling that I'm going to be able to look at that and because like I said, I feel some interesting things in the collective, and so yeah, we'll see,
Okay.
So everybody can, we said and I'm saying this because I wanted folks to write that down. Astrogardens.com, oraclereport.com. One of the things that I will not be doing this time around is putting links in my videos. That is one of their no-nos, even though every YouTuber does it. And I think that I'm not going to give them a reason to do,
They're going to have
as
to
much as
change.
possible.
They're going to have to change the rules to cancel you this time.
That's right. That's right. And so, but
I
you
wouldn't
can
put it past them
also,
for trying.
that's right. You can reach out, you can reach me if you're interested in coming and having a conscious conversation with me that may be published on YouTube or on Rumble solely. This conversation will appear both places at consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com. And that's the other thing I want to say too. You can find me at rumble.com/conscious conversation central. I believe you should be able to find it that way, or by searching Conscious Conversation Central. If for some reason you can't find the link, email me and I can email it to you. But also, let's see, what else did I want to say? I think that's it.
Okay.
Oh, I will be back this week with an actionable intuitive intel with Lisa Flamino Rush, so y'all can look forward to that. Andrew is agreeing to come back and do some more accidental astrologer, so we're going to try to do that on a little bit more of a regular basis. Yes?
Yes, definitely.
Yay. Okay. And so till next time, thank you so much for joining me, Andrew.
And thank you. This has been enlightening for me as well.
No, it's been such a treat for me. And I hope that everyone out there will move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you, because it really is just a matter of your perspective. And if you slow yourself down for just a few moments, if you get triggered, you might find that there is a higher and lower octave of the energy you're experiencing, and you can always choose the one that brings you the greater joy. Be well, my friends.
Bye-bye.